Under the scope. Hey, Scope fans, Jared and Shane here with another Scope movie review.
We're at a red light.
We're at a red light, but our blood is running blue because it is cold once again. Jared warned in social media that we're going to see another Scope film, and it's going to be cold. And sure enough, like the Al Roker that he is, he came through.
Yes.
We are sitting here in this frigid air to bring you a review for the latest movie from Neil Blomkamp.
I think that's how you say it. Neil Blomkamp.
He's
District 9 and Elysium fame.
He's an Afrikaner, South Afrikaner. The movie, of course, we're talking about is Chappie.
Chappie.
Maybe, of course, we're not talking about it. I don't know.
Chappie watch?
Jared?
Oh, no.
This is a big cast.
Oh, yes.
It's a tough cast.
Yes.
But let's start with the people that we can say right off the top of our head. It stars...
well, I'm going to give Charlton Copley the top billing, because he you don't see him on screen, but he is the voice and the mocap of Chappie.
Yep, the robot.
The robot, the main robot in this film. You have Dev Patel.
Mm-hmm.
You may know him from The Newsroom. You may know him from Slumdog Millionaire.
Yep.
You've got Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, as a super crazy robotic crocodile hunter.
A former soldier turned weapons system engineer, apparently.
Turned terrible character stereotype. Sorry, we're getting into the critique.
Other notable people, I guess we've got...
Sigourney Weaver, Jared.
Weaver,
Don't forget about her.
Wasn't going to forget about her. And then a bunch of standard Neil Blomkamp South African actors that he's had. And the Latino guy... He was in Elysium as well. I forget his name.
We've seen him in other stuff as well.
Yes, so...
Jared always forgets the Latino guy.
Sorry.
So, Jared, this movie is about robots, isn't it?
It is about robots.
And it takes place in South Africa. What a shock.
So the main storyline of this film is that South Africa has deployed a squad of robotic police officers.
Yep.
And they've been very successful, but these robots they have a programming, but they're not self-aware. They don't have a consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so these robots were created by what's his name?
Dion is his name.
Played by Dev Patel.
Mm-hmm.
His rival, of course, is the Crocodile Hunter, Hugh Jackman.
Robotic crocodile.
I don't know if we even got his name, but he's got a rival.
Crikey, I'm making me robots.
He wears shorts a lot.
He does wear shorts a lot.
The only one who succumbs to the South African heat.
And he's allowed to carry sidearms wherever he goes.
He has a rival weapons platform that he's been developing called the Moose.
Yes.
Interesting. I was really expecting this to be like a Pacific Rim scenario where the Moose would be deployed and we use his Moose Knuckle attack. That didn't happen.
And there was no antlers on this moose either, by the way.
Anyway, this weapons platform is it's very, very reminiscent of the Ed 209 platform in the RoboCop films.
You just like saying platform, don't you? Here I go interrupting you all the time.
And but this doesn't have programming or anything. It's controlled by a human wearing some sort of neural transfer helmet, which of course will come into play later on.
Yeah. That's only half the story, though, Jared.
Dion isn't content to just let these robots be successful as they are. He's working on the next level of artificial intelligence. He's working on consciousness.
In his spare time.
Sentience. In his spare time at home. He doesn't sleep. He just has a servant robot serve him Red Bulls.
The robot, I think that robot was from 1982, by the way.
So, of course, he's successful, and of course, he manages to get his new consciousness implanted into a police drone robot, and Chappie is born.
Yeah.
And there's a whole plot line with really wackadoo criminals that are involved in this.
Yes.
I don't even know how to explain that. I don't know how to begin that. But there are a lot of weird, cartoony, straight out of a bad G.I. Joe cartoon bad guys.
They want to essentially use Dion to do a big heist by turning off the robots, so then they can get a lot of money to repay a giant gangster who looks suspiciously like Robbie Williams on steroids. As a matter of fact, I thought it was Robbie Williams.
But Dion's not having it. He says Chappie can never ever do bad things.
Instead, he can paint.
Yes. Anyway, that's our big setup.
So
mayhem ensues.
Yes.
Chappie grows.
Chappie grows. You have your mix of thoughtful sci-fi and ridiculous explosions and violence that was a staple in both District 9 and Elysium or Elysium.
Elysium. There's only one way to say it.
Elysium. That's all it takes. So, as Jared was walking out, he said he was feeling mixed about this film, and I feel exactly the same way.
Okay, let's see if we agree on what the mixture is.
A lot of the pre-reviews on this that have just started hitting today, apparently the media blackout has been lifted, was saying this was a big, loud mess of a film. And I think that they're right. It is a big, loud mess of a film.
Yes.
There's a lot that's wrong with it, and I think we can dig into that in a second.
Okay.
But what works well is this idea of Chappie as a learning creature.
Yes, he starts out as basically an infant and has to learn as he goes. Now, he learns fast.
Yeah.
Because here's the other plot point. He's put in a body that only has very little battery life left.
It's a broken body.
The battery is fused, can't be removed or apparently recharged. So Chappie he's got a limited lifespan here.
Yes. Which he eventually, as he grows older, in the short time that he's alive, the 5 days, he realizes that he also can die.
Yes.
But the learning aspects, there's a few scenes in there where he's sort of, moving from child to teenager. It's not even really that. It's just this robot gaining awareness of the world around him.
Yeah, learning language, learning concepts.
Was really, really fascinating. The problem is that he's being taught by these cartoon gangsters, which are, just in general, the film does not have anyone that is likable at all. Even Dion is sort of this wet noodle of a character. I don't really get it, but the bad guys are really bad, or really stupid, or really mean. And so Chappie is this poor, innocent creature that's just left adrift with these things.
And he's being exploited for their nefarious wants.
And it was, to me, it was bothersome. I mean, it was uncomfortable.
It was really hard to
watching.
watch.
It was like, ugh.
I think it was well done because you're watching someone who doesn't have the capacity yet to understand right from wrong, to understand that he's being manipulated.
Yeah, it's like taking advantage of a simpleton or something. Someone that can't take care of themselves.
Well, it's like having an 8-year-old around and basically implanting this really skewed morality on him.
Yeah.
And so that he will fulfill his super purpose.
And don't you think maybe that could have been Neil's entire plan all along in terms of a filmmaker? The problem is that he has it surrounded with ultra cartoonish violence that sort of works against the seriousness of this robot that's growing and learning and understanding about life and understanding if he is truly alive, if he means something to the world. That's the movie that I wanted to see. You strip out all that other stuff and you've got something that's been done before. Robots gaining consciousness is not an unusual construct for a film, but it was done in a way that captivated me.
Yeah, I think the core of the film being the Chappie character, gaining intelligence and growing and learning and being manipulated and eventually aspiring to greater things by the end of the film was definitely the good part of the film. And I think if you had stripped out all the garbage around it, you're left with maybe a 45-minute short film that's really captivating and interesting, and that probably could have been expanded into something really good.
Yeah.
But you're surrounded by a smorgasbord of bad characters, terrible dialogue, scripting and motivations that make no sense. Other than to serve the particular scene that they're in. And
Mad Max meets Tank Girl meets...
There's the whole subplot, or even... it's a subplot of Dion and his police drones versus Wolverine and his moose knuckle. I couldn't care less about that.
No, it was pointless.
Ridiculous, and then the big finale battle that happened because of it was just so ridiculous and out of place that it...
Hugh Jackman completely wasted in this film.
Sigourney Weaver completely wasted in this film.
Bare bones of stereotypes of characters of what they are.
She's a ruthless weapons company CEO with no nuance or any sort of interesting character traits at all.
Yeah, nuance, I think, is the key word that's missing from this picture.
Yeah.
And it's disappointing because there are moments of that, or like you said, a greater movie trying to break out of this. And I think we were talking before, I think this movie was an older Neil pitch, right? So this, I think that he thought of this before District 9.
Okay.
And with his success on District 9, everybody wanted on the Neil train, and this was part of it. but it felt pedestrian in a lot of ways. And then sort of, the hokey way they dealt with science and the sci-fi towards the end.
Yeah. It's sort of they kind of put the pedal to the metal a little bit. And,
yeah.
And sort of make a big leap that's, I think, could be interesting if it was set up a lot better. Unfortunately, it wasn't. It was just sort of, and we're going to do this now, so get ready.
And almost everything that was going to happen is fairly telegraphed.
Yeah.
Except for the big twist at the end, which sort of came out of nowhere, right?
You talking about the big, final reveal?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was sort of like a flight of fancy, it felt like, but it didn't feel like it was really... I don't know. I mean, the film wasn't grounded enough for that really to be an earned reveal anyway.
No. And the other thing that bothered me was, you have Dion as his maker, but then you have the two bad guys, Mommy and Daddy, who are creeps. They're jerks. Right. They're very unlikable, but...
The film makes an attempt to sort of make us relate to them and try to like them.
But you can't.
No.
It's impossible.
They're
The end where Daddy is trying to be giving and, showing that he's a selfless guy didn't work at all.
No, because he's proved himself to be nothing but a narcissistic douchebag the entire film.
I wanted him shot dead.
Yeah.
He was a guy that deserved to die instead of being protected.
So, character and script problems throughout.
Yep. Special effects, once again, terrific.
I don't know what it is about the Neil Blomkamp films, but they seem to really nail the humanoid robots.
Yep.
Like, whoever he's got doing those effects, every film, they look great.
There's everything is pretty much in the daytime, so he's not cheating that way. We always talk about that. Not a lot of special effects in terms of this being some sort of crazy futuristic world. It really was sort of near future, but it could have taken place today with just a few police robots running around.
2016 was great. The de-aging they did on Anderson Cooper was spot on.
So there are some things to like in this film, but a lot of disappointment. I think there is a better film in here,
and I'm frustrated by that. Honestly, I feel like there was a good half an hour, 40 minutes in the middle there where I was genuinely connecting to the film. I was connecting to Chappie as a character, and I thought that there was a lot of promise. And then we hit the third act, and it was like,
off the rails.
We're doing this now, okay.
And they did. So they went off the rails in the third act. How about we give it a Scope score in our third act?
The Scope score is 1 3/4 star.
All right, so 1 3/4. It's a unique score here for the Scope.
Yeah, it's below average. There are things to like in this movie, but there's a whole lot to dislike.
You just cannot overlook the flaws, even though there are little hidden gems, Jared.
Yep.
Diamonds in the rough in this film. So, 1 3/4 stars. Jared, that's the end of our review. Please tell our Scope viewers how they can communicate with us, how they can get in touch with us.
You can like, comment, or subscribe right down below.
Terrific. So there we go, Jared. Chappie, it's behind us.
It is.
What's in front of us? A lot more great movies and summer movies coming soon.
Oh, I can't wait. Let's get some good stuff. I need something above a 2. Let's go.
I agree with you. So for Jared, I am Shane.
What are you doing, sir?
Whoa. Trying to run us off the road. More Scope movie reviews coming at you soon. Bye for now.
Ladies and gentlemen, we find ourselves once again at the end. I hope you've enjoyed our time together. I know I have. Fear not, Scope faithful. The days shall pass as if they were but a moment, and Jared, Adam, and Shane will return with another thrilling episode. Until then, send your comments to comments@thescopeshow.com or leave a voicemail message by dialing
612-21-SCOPE. That's 612-217-2673.
Thanks for listening, faithful fans. This is Tony Partington saying arrivederci. Tune in next time to another terrific edition of The Scope.